Well, good morning from the Red Brick House. Today is Saturday. Probably going to be here for maybe a half day today. Head back home. And boy, we've been here for over a week and a half and we have done so much. But I am one of those ones that I still want to get just a little bit more done. So I'm cleaning up because we've got a lot of wood and stuff that we took downstairs and it's been outside and we want to make sure we protect it. And I just want the place to be clean so when we come back, it'll look really, really nice. Um, in the closet over here, now we've got this closet with the brick and stuff over here where the plaster is coming off in there and I need to take it off to replaster it or figure out what we're going to do with that. We had some of these windows. Now this window, this is what's interesting. This is known as, well, this is a cyst. Don't know what that sound was. Don't know what that sound was, but something fell over. This may have been an original window because when they first started doing windows, the glass came over from England and they didn't do big pieces of glass on the ships. So that's a 6/6. This is a 2/2. Now we've gotten, I'm so proud of how good these look. My wife clean, look at that. You can look out the window. It's nice and clear and everything else. I just need to put the ropes in for the window weights. Now we've gotten these two already done and I need to do the same over here on this one. I do have a piece of glass that I'm going to go in today and put this window in. We do have another one that's cracked over there, but I've got a piece of glass from this old sash over here. I'm going to get a glass cutter and see if I can cut it to go ahead and replace that one. So that way it's one of the at least original pieces from when I got here of glass. The plaster, man, what a difference this makes. My wrists are killing me from working with the trowel and stuff yesterday, but I have one bucket of the finish plaster. And I want to mix that up and I want to try over here on this wall, try and get a feel for how far it goes and how it will actually look when we start plastering all this stuff up. Because I'm going to need to go get some of that from Limeworks. I've been mixing up, all this is all plaster that I mixed up, basically making lime putty. What I'm really excited about and happy about is this is already solid and I have very few cracks. And here's one of the few right here as it's drying. Maybe that spot is real thick and it wasn't really wet as it should be. So I'm going to wet down the walls. Look at that, that's actually pretty good. We'll go through. All we have to do on this is basically flatten it out with the other stuff. Now that's real thin. I was told you got to put it on about the thickness of a credit card or else it will crack. But sitting here just looking at this, and this is why I want to get it cleaned up before we leave, it's just amazing. So I've already gotten the sand off of my truck. I've started moving all the wood to the basement. And I came up here for the window sashes to put down there. And if I move everything out of the way, I might pull the plaster off and see what it looks like behind the brick there. And get that cleaned up so that way we know what we have behind there and what we're going to figure out what we're going to do. That way we can think about it while we're gone. All right, back to work. Okay, so we got some decisions to make here. You can see the bricks and stuff in here. When they did this, they didn't bother about cleaning it too much because they knew they were going to plaster over it. So the question is A, do we plaster over this again? B, leave it like it is cleaned up and show how the stuff was? Or C, clean out their brick lines and point it up and see if we want to go through and point up the whole thing. And I think that's what I'm going to go ahead and try. I'm going to go through and I'm going to take my angle grinder and just grind out a little of this and use the chipper to clean it up. And then we'll mix some mortar and put in there and point it up and see what it looks like. Yeah. All right, so this has cleaned out all the mortar so we can get it consistent. We're going to wet it down. We're going to wet it down and we're going to point it up with some lime mortar. And we're going to see how it looks. And we'll fill in the bricks and see if this is what we want to do. Now, you wet this down because that helps the plaster or the mortar to stick better. You can see in here where there was fire in that brick that was in there. Probably too much creosote built up, and that's where the fire came from. Now the thing about pointing up, that is a true patience thing, because you are just putting a little bit of mortar in there. If you want to get it right, you do have to take your time. All right, I'm going to clean up the mess, and then we're going to get started.